guys, time for another Q&A. I had a call for questions on Instagram about, depression and Robin Williams. I did just want to answer a question that I got on my last video that doesn't have to do with that subject matter, so I hope that's okay. So this is from Mileena Hot. What are the new video games coming this year that you want to play? I know that Mirror's Edge 2 is coming out, which I'm so excited for because I love Faye. She's one of the few Asian stars out there in video games in which, the story doesn't have to do with the fact that she's Asian. Mass Effect Andromeda looks pretty cool. I mean, I don't know that much about it, but it still looks cool. I have faith in BioWare. I kickstarted Hyper Light Drifter, which I hope is coming out soon. Shadowrunners, Hong Kong, I'm so excited about that. Let's go to the meat of our questions today, which is on... So, for those of you who don't know, I asked about, it's basically been a year since we lost Robin Williams, and so I wanted to ask questions to people about maybe just talking about being happy and mental health and all that stuff, because I think it's still something that is not widely talked about. Like, there's still a lot of shame in mental health, I think. Eric_says, asks, if you had the ability to cure one mental illness, what would it be? Does Alzheimer's count? Because I think it's just a very sad thing to lose your memories. If I ever found out that I had Alzheimer's, I would be so frightened and scared because you're losing your memories, and your memories are what make you who you are. Sarah.smiles123 asks, if you could stop bullying and make people happy, how would you start? Most of the bullying that happens, it comes from really bad parenting. Like really shitty parents that just don't understand what their kids are doing and just like not realizing that how broken their kids are, that they would feel the need to break other children in some way. In the society that I live in, anybody can be a parent, but at the same time there are tests and classes that you need to take in order to drive a car. And I think that the life and the future of a child is worth so much more than like being able to drive a car, even though that is very important too because you can kill people. Like, a human being can hurt so many more people than a car can. Written by Anna asks, why do you think more people these days, especially kids and teenagers like myself, are less happy? I'm sorry that you feel less happy, Anna. And how can we fix that? I remember when I was younger, I was not happy. I think part of that unhappiness is honestly just growing up and being a teenager and being a student. Like, unhappiness is part of what makes you grow, and what it helps you. That's one of the key components of making you figure out yourself and learn how to handle with your emotions. There's always going to be someone out there in the world that has it worse than I do. I remember that one of the first times I traveled by myself, I saw people my age living less privileged lives than I was, and that immediately just snapped me into like a new mindset. I think that the second thing is to do things that make you feel empowered, and that can be anything from playing a sport, playing video games, learning to love yourself and learning to love being with yourself, because being with yourself is a very valuable thing to have. If you don't enjoy your own company, then how can you enjoy anyone else's company? Agao4779 asks, what is something you do to cheer yourself up when you are down? Usually that means playing Bayonetta 2, because you feel powerful when you play that game. You feel like you're a hero. I have reached a few points though where that doesn't help me, and sometimes I talk to people about it. Because I think verbalizing your feelings, it helps you figure it out. Even if you might not want to talk about it, I think it might be something to consider at least, to maybe push through that fear of talking about it and making it out in the open, so that way you can put everything into perspective, because so many awful things that happen to us are all in it's all in our heads, and it's the intrinsic self-hatred and self-loathing that we have sometimes that can keep us down. But at the same time, it could also be mental illness, and in that case, it's very important to seek help and not to be afraid to seek help. Forever Isabelle asks how to deal with anxiety. I honestly wouldn't know because I don't suffer from anxiety, unfortunately. So I'm sorry I can't give you a straight answer, but thank you for your question, Isabelle. Hannah the Panda asks, which do you think is worse, cyberbullying or IRL bullying? I think they're both pretty bad, because with IRL bullying, like, you have a face of what you're fearing, and like, you know, if it's at school, then it's gonna be so awful just going to school every day knowing that you're gonna see that person that is treating you badly. Internet bullying, I think it depends on how old you are, because if you're young, it can be so easy to take what people on the internet say seriously. It can be easy to bully people on the internet just because you don't have to put your name out there, and so people might not catch you. But at the same time, like, you need to be in the right mindset of like, the people that say mean shit to you on the internet, they're probably fucking miserable, and they're just trying to feel better by making you feel miserable. When you think about the place that you have to be to say such hateful, awful things to somebody on the internet, I almost start to, like, I almost feel sad for them, because that is how awful that they must feel to want to, like, make someone else feel that way. Camdenjperez asks, how do you deal with sadness? I was depressed last summer and I keep getting sad out of the blue. I get sad out of the blue sometimes too. Do you know if you're okay now out of your depression? Because there's nothing wrong with having to talk to your therapist again if you've already seen one, and if they just thought that you're okay. The simplest way to deal with sadness is figure out why you're sad and then try to fix that problem. But there are some days where I feel sad for no reason too, where I just feel unhappy with what I have in life, where like I hate people for no reason. Like, I start just thinking about how awful society is and how imperfect the world is. I mean, like, if it starts being consistent and you start not enjoying the things that you regularly enjoy, then I think it would be important to get help. And once again, no shame in that. I really hope that in this video, you guys, like, I don't ever want to sound like the asshole that's like, oh, like, all you have to do is just be happy. All you have to do is get over it. All you have to do is this. Like, I feel bad sometimes too, but that doesn't mean that you're depressed. Like, I don't want to sound like that at all. I don't know what all your situations are, and so I'm giving the best advice that I can give, but it is by no means enough, and like, you should be seeking advice from people that you actually know in real life, not me. Toutestperplexe asks, how do you deal with unrequited love? I'll let you know when I figure that out. I'm always in love with people that don't love me back. I think that's what most of life is. I know that this won't make the feeling go away, but it's so important to remind yourself and to ease the pain that you deserve to have somebody that loves you back equally as much as you love them. But anyways, thank you so much for all of the people that were brave enough to ask questions. I know that this was more of a serious topic, but I do think it's very important to continue. I know that this was more of a serious topic, but I do think it's so important to continue promoting mental health awareness, because we're still at a point in society where there's still so much shame that comes with being not okay in the head, and all we care about right now is, you know, like, it's like physical health, you know, going to the doctor and everything, but you know, like, we go to a doctor for a physical checkup, but we don't go for mental checkups. And I think the mind is so much more complicated than the body can ever be. That I think that, once again, the world would be a happier place if everybody had a shrink. Once again, please take all of my answers with a grain of salt, because I have never been diagnosed with a mental health disorder before, but I've seen enough to know that it's still a big problem that can use more attention. And as always, I will have a call for questions for next week's video on Instagram, but if you have a question that you want to ask me right now, please leave it in the comments below. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I love you. Bye!